Welcome back to another episode on our two-door Mercedes G-wagon convertible 4x4 square style suspension Tesla-Swap build. On the last episode, we modified the frame and axles, fabricated and fitted the new suspension, brakes, and drive shaft. And in this video, we're going to be doing some more fabrication, fitting the Tesla batteries, rewiring the entire truck, creating a full custom interior, painting the truck, and more. So with that said, let's get started.
What I'm doing, making a little filler for that, because this had a big goofy light on it that hung out in the middle of nowhere, which is quite ugly. So I'm gonna whack that off, fill that, to cut this guy off, because now we have big boy tires and he wants to have a spare. I want to take this and weld it onto here.
Wow.
And then make that look like it never happened. And we'll have our big giant Toyo on the back.
Gonna scan, I guess, the front of the frames and the back of the bumper just to make some bumper brackets. We're gonna try to make it like how it is in the existing one, but this bumper is aftermarket, so it's got different mounting locations. I am starting to remove all the factory EFI controller, tranny controller, all the wiring to do with that system, because obviously it's not needed anymore. So I'll slowly start to peel out all that stuff while we're waiting for the batteries to show up today. So I'll get on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can I just add one thing to that?
Yeah.
I don't think we're allowed to say the word tranny.
I know, anymore. I was gonna.
Transmission output unit.
Oh my God. Wow.
Just throwing that out there, man.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
True, you never know. We don't want to get canceled.
Let's fire it up. Hook up two fucking cables.
Yeah.
Look at
The next day.
What's going on? You look like you're in deep thought.
You're witnessing the design process.
Is this safe to touch?
Don't touch the two orange parts at the same time. If we hooked all these together, you would just turn to smoke.
You still gotta mock up where the seats go, right? Or
I gotta figure out the seats.
yeah. So with everything in place, I could just scan one of them.
I'm gonna put the chassis back onto the rotisserie. It's going back over to the paint department, and it's gonna get prepped and finalized and finished paint. We got Steve, he's in there, completely disassembling pretty much the whole chassis harness.
Wow. There's a nest of wiring.
That is
in here.
the factory chassis harness for this car. It's all one piece. This is the headlight wiring here. And so like it's all legit one piece, the entire harness.
So
I don't agree with it. I would never wire a car like this. This to me is like, I get it from a production standpoint. You have one wiring table to build it on and all just goes together, but
yeah.
I have to now recreate
Everything.
the entire chassis harness.
Yeah.
Because I can't use this one. I could, but it would take me probably 100 hours to undo
All of this.
all of it, peel out each of the
Stuff.
circuits. Yeah. The only things we need to keep are the lighting circuit and the convertible top circuit. Everything else is not from this truck anyway. That's all the EV stuff.
Yep.
We're using an aftermarket AC system in this truck, so it's not even going to be a factory AC system. So none of that stuff really makes them different, so might as well get rid of this.
And with that, the frame was sent off to the paint department for final bodywork and paint. And with every nut, bolt, and part stripped off the car, we decided to refinish all of it as well.
Right now we're designing the dash pieces for the G-Volt. So we're using a different dash from a different G-wagon, just so we could actually modify it, reupholster it to how we want. So we're gonna be using these two screens for the G-wagon. I think this one's just like a screen that has all the speedometer, tachometer, and everything like that. And then this would be the haptic touch, where you'll be able to like access things by touching it. So it'll be a touch screen. So we're gonna have those two implemented into a single piece like this.
Yeah.
I'm masking them out in preparation for Cerakote. We're gonna change it from being red anodized to a blue Cerakote that kind of matches the theme with the rest of the G-wagon build. So, in my experience, anodizing doesn't really hold up well to UV, so it always fades and it looks like so this needs to go. And the color just doesn't match our theme, so I'm prepping these. We'll give them a light media blast, and I'll send them over to the paint department for refinishing.
The steering wheel, me and Tim had a chat about what we're going to use, and we're actually going to just be using the paddles. It'll be the only switches we're going to use in the steering wheel.
Okay.
And the horn, obviously. We'll use the horn function in it, but we're going to use the right side's going to be our drive, left will be the neutral,
Nice.
and then we'll have the reverse on the console somewhere, so that way we don't accidentally bump it when we're going down the road. Because obviously we definitely don't want to have that punching itself into reverse going down the street. So.
Alex worked on scanning the interior of the G-Wagon to get dimensions in order to make the battery box for the trunk, after which we had it laser cut and ready for bending.
This is the battery box for all the Tesla battery cells. So this is, I'm about to bend up a box that will contain 9 individual Tesla battery cells for the back of the 2-door Cabriolet G-Wagon. Right now, I'm just going through the process of getting all my upper and lower V-blocks set to the right dimension, because there's multiple bends on, just this one piece alone has 2, 4, 6 separate bends in it. That's the 2 big bends on this one. So we got 9 batteries in here. There's gonna be more batteries up front with the motor to help balance things out.
This is a profile fuse panel that I make for under here.
Ooh,
So
nice.
now that I got all my bends right, I'm gonna go make panel.
So this box right here in the 2-door cab with the power plant and everything that it had housed a bunch of like electronics and stuff. And because we took this whole drivetrain and wiring harness from this vehicle to use in that vehicle, which is the Pook truck, you can see that this shape is very, very different than this shape. So we're gonna eliminate that and replace it with this. We're not gonna get involved in that project now, so I'm just gonna remove it from this, put it aside, and make a replacement filler panel for this vehicle. Whoa!
Next, we got some amazing brake calipers from OSK Tools. However, they didn't match the overall color theme of the truck, so we decided to change that.
Straight out of the blasting cabinet. Nice good tooth for the Cerakote to attach to.
About to slot this in and put LED lights in behind here. We're backlighting the grille with some neon, but we just got to make sure that our colors are all cohesive throughout the vehicle.
Next, Tim worked on creating pass-throughs in the battery box for the battery cables that Steve was working on.
I'm just making a filler panel for the factory poupe dash to sort of adapt to this 2-door cabriolet. It came up a little bit short in elevation to where the factory venting system was, so I made this little panel. If you look here, so this surface right here is the surface that will create a flange for our defrost venting to sort of have like a bezel and everything on. So it needs a little elevation change. This will get welded directly to this dash, and this whole thing will get wrapped when we do the dash. So I'll just pull this out and you can see this was one of the factory pieces. So this is what I'm recreating. I'm just recreating it in metal in a full length variation.
The frame and axles got back from final paint, so it was time for reassembly.
This all needs to be refinished. And that whole firewall right there. Fill all unnecessary holes, tidy up and refinish everything, and that's gonna make this thing. Oh. This G-wagon that we're doing is EV, obviously, and the app that runs the park neutral drive, that whole system on it, is Bluetooth controlled off of an iPad or an iPhone. So I'm making an iPad mount to go into this dash. So I'll stand this up a little bit. In the vehicle, it's like so. And so what I got going on here right now is this is kind of like the connection point that I've come up with to sort of blend in seamlessly, well, with a small seam into the lower factory G-wagon center console. So I got my iPad and I'm going to basically make a tray in it that has like a little drop down section. So the iPad will get held in place with magnets, and then you'll push on it here on the bottom and it'll push in to pop the top out. You'll reach your hand in there, pull the iPad out. There we go. We got the basic shape in place, the iPad mount in place, and then that kind of left me in a place where I can start doing the template transitions for all the exterior. So all these different lines, all these little diamonds and things, those are like bend line references. And these are all gonna be nice radius transitions, but that gives me an area where I know start the bend here or put the center point here. Getting closer. Well, this is gonna go on and on and on. And I'm gonna keep going back and forth to the template. And when I get a little bit closer, then I'll start actually trimming out some of my surrounding sheet metal edge and get it right bang on to my template. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take this radius right here, and I want that to continue all the way over to there.
The dash piece got finished printing. We're gonna have to section some of this off and then push this in, and then it's gonna sit against this floor, this face of it, like that.
We worked on smoothing and finishing out all the custom dash pieces we made, making sure it was nice and ready to be upholstered. Speaking of upholstery, Greg and the team at Blackheart Upholstery are creating a full custom interior for the G-Wagon. The new front and rear seats are from a CLA 45 AMG, so we had to adapt them to fit the G-Wagon. In addition to all the upholstery for the dashboard and seats, we're also making custom door cards as well as some carpets for the G-Wagon.
These are some A45 AMG seat adapters we made to adapt it to the factory G-Wagon base. A little bit of a spacer in there to clear some of the motor unit stuff, but outside of that, a nice simple little thing.
Before the G-Wagon went off to final paint, the guys needed to give it a proper wash to ensure it was free from grease and grime. And with that, it was off to the paint department to get it ready for final paint.
We're almost done. It's been a big day today.
Yeah.
So we put the body on the chassis first thing this morning. It's still fresh. It's still outgassing.
Smell the paint.
Wiring was pretty much almost all done already. Every part was already painted, prepped, ready to go. So it's kind of just final assembly and like little tiny details sort of. We're days away from having to load up and drive down to Vegas for SEMA. So
Just playing around with the leads for the high voltage from the inverter to the contactor box. Just trying to find a nice route. I've never run these cables before, so this is all new to me.
Just thinking how shocking it is how much Steve knows about wiring.
I don't want to be shocking.
It's not shocking.
I want it to be opposite. If Steve lets the smoke out on this one, then it's probably out of himself.
Things staying over here.
Right now, I'm preparing with wax and grease remover to put the sound deader in so we have no road noise. Even though it's an electric vehicle, we still like to keep the road noise out of the vehicle.
You say it louder so we can hear you? Oh. I don't know. He was talking about sound ending, so he had to do it like real quiet.
Yeah, it's part of the.
I should be like,
Is that a mockingbird?
Putting the back seats in.
Okay.
Just putting the inserts on the floor. Nothing exciting. I get all the grunt work. My job is to make sure everybody else has what they need, and then I just fill those shitty little gaps. You could just use self-tappers.
That would go very well in the event of a collision.
Elvis,
Don't tell me I
large amounts of voltage right now. Don't come around here.
Static fucking
Every
charge.
time you come around me, you do Jesus' work and
Oh
punish me for something that I did in my youth that I probably didn't even mean to do.
So they're not going vertically anymore?
No.
Okay.
No, we couldn't for the height for the convertible top. We stood them up. There'd be no room to pull the top down to where it was.
Yeah.
That's why we lost all the
Some of
batteries.
them,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause we were supposed to do 9 back here.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, no, sorry. I mean 12 back here, and then the 4 up front. So now we're doing 9 here, 3 under here, and then 4 up front. Like you can touch them all now. That doesn't make a difference because right now they're only 24 volts. So there's nothing crazy about it. But the minute you get 2 together, you got 50. 3 is 75, then 4 is 100, so it doesn't take long to get something terrifying. Yeah. So,
Oh, wow.
in the back here, there's going to be 175 volts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nervous, man. No, shit.
No more coming forward.
These guys got it, man. They got it. It's like professionals. Check it out. It's coming together.
Yeah.
All hands on deck. Putting the interior back in for the final time. Doing a little bit of detail work while we're at it. And I think the boys are gonna fire this thing up soon. So maybe we'll see the rollers turning. Skirt, skirt.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh.
That's fucking crazy. Oh, yo, that's fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Some soundless burnouts.
Now we actually need brakes.
Oh, we don't have brakes.
No, we actually had to make everything else work. There's
Almost
what,
done.
2 lines to make, or you gotta?
2, yeah. Well, that one I just got to flare and put in, and then make the main connections.
It was so amazing seeing the wheels turn on the G-wagon for the first time after all the work we put in. And on the next episode, we're going to be finishing all the work left on it and taking it on its first drive. So stay tuned for that. And with that said, thank you all for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.